Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Bless Your Little Narc Heart, the podcast where we unmask narcissistic abuse, uncover the truth, and help survivors find their way back to themselves. I'm your host, Sarah Angel. Today's episode is a big one. When most people hear the word narcissist, they picture someone loud, arrogant, attention-seeking, and constantly bragging. But the narcissist that often leaves the deepest scars isn't usually the one everyone notices. It's the quiet one, the wounded one, the victim, the one who appears sweet, sensitive, misunderstood, and innocent. Today we're talking about the covert narcissist, why they can be the most dangerous type of narcissist to date, 7 emotional abuse tactics they commonly use, 10 phrases that slowly make you question your own reality, and how to tell the difference between genuine love and narcissistic love. So grab your coffee, your tea, and your emotional support blanket, and let's dive in. A covert narcissist doesn't control through obvious domination. They control through confusion. Unlike overt narcissists who openly seek admiration, covert narcissists often hide behind vulnerability. They want sympathy. They want pity. They want people to see them as the victim. And that's what makes them so difficult to recognize. Many victims spend years believing that they're the problem because the narcissist appears harmless. The covert narcissist rarely punches holes in the walls. Instead, they punch holes in your confidence. They don't always scream. They whisper. They don't destroy your reputation overnight. They chip away at it slowly. They don't steal your identity in one moment. They slowly convince you to abandon pieces of yourself until you barely recognize who you are. By the time many people realize what's happening, they've spent years walking on eggshells, questioning their own judgment, and apologizing for things that they never did. That's why covert narcissists can be incredibly dangerous. Their abuse leaves very few visible bruises. The wounds are emotional, psychological, and spiritual. And because nobody else sees them, survivors often suffer alone. Here's 7 emotional abuse tactics that the covert narcissist uses. Number 1, gaslighting. Gaslighting is a psychological manipulation designed to make you question your memory, perception, and sanity. You'll remember something clearly, but they'll deny it happened. You'll show proof, and they'll twist it. Eventually, you start asking yourself, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. That's exactly what they want. 2, they play the victim. No matter what happens, somehow they're always the injured party. Even when they get caught lying, even when they hurt someone, even when they clearly are responsible, the conversation somehow becomes about their pain, their suffering, their feelings, and suddenly you're comforting the person who hurt you. Number 3, silent treatment. The silent treatment isn't a healthy space. It's punishment. It's emotional starvation. They withhold communication until you desperately want to reconnect. Then they return. They act as if nothing happened. You just gotta slide everything under the rug and just, suck it up, basically. And that eats away at you after a while. 4, triangulation. This is when they bring another person in the relationship dynamic, an ex, a friend, a coworker, a family member, someone they can compare you to. The goal is competition. If you're competing for their approval, you're easier to control. 5, guilt manipulation. Everything becomes your responsibility. Their happiness, their sadness, their failures, their reactions. You start carrying emotional burdens that were never yours to carry. 6, future faking. They promise a beautiful future, marriage, commitment, a family, a better tomorrow, but the promises never arrive. The future stays just close enough to keep you invested, yet somehow always out of reach. This is a big one. Number 7, reactive abuse. This one is especially cruel because the narcissist provokes you repeatedly, days, months, years, and then eventually you snap. You yell, you cry, you react, and suddenly they point at your reactions. They see you're the abusive one, and they hide their actions and showcase your response. And here are 10 phrases that a narcissist uses to make you doubt yourself. If you've heard these repeatedly, pay attention. 1, you're too sensitive. 2, that never happened. 3, you're imagining things. 4, everyone agrees with me. 5, you're overreacting. 6, you're crazy. 7, I was only joking. 8, if you really loved me, you would. 9. You're the reason I act this way. And 10. I guess I'm just a horrible person then. The last one isn't accountability, it's manipulation. The goal isn't taking responsibility. The goal is making you comfort them instead of holding them accountable. Now, like with my personal experience dealing with covert narcissists, it was more of why I came to be on this journey talking about narcissism, because I didn't understand what I was dealing with. I couldn't fathom or comprehend or just understand, period, how someone could be doing the things that they were doing, like, and flat out lie and just make stories up and just project. And it was like people going out of their way to involve people that we didn't even know to try and make me look bad and reverse our roles. It was like, really? And I couldn't understand it until I just typed it in, the computer, Google, and the word that came up was narcissist. And so I started studying it, and lo and behold, there was my answer. Why this person did the things that she did. It's because she was a covert narcissist. And it made me understand it. It made me know what not to do, because what I was doing, I was feeding into her games, her supply. I was arguing back. I was defending myself. She would start fights and I'd defend myself, but that's what she wanted. She wanted to go back and forth, and it was her supply. She loved the drama. It was just a very sick game, and I finally got off that train. Thank God. Now, what's the difference between real love and narcissistic love? This is where many survivors struggle, because narcissistic love often feels intense, passionate, all-consuming, but intensity isn't the same thing as love. Let's break it down. Real love says, I want you to grow. Narcissistic love says, I want you to stay where I can control you. Real love says, you can have your own opinions. Narcissistic love says, you should think like me. Real love says, let's solve this together. Narcissistic love says, how can I win this argument? Real love says, I respect your boundaries. Narcissistic love says, your boundaries hurt my feelings. Real love says, I'm sorry. Narcissistic love says, I'm sorry you feel that way. Real love gives freedom. Narcissistic love demands ownership. Real love feels safe. You don't have to earn it every day. You don't have to constantly prove your worth. You don't have to sacrifice your identity to keep it. Real love isn't perfect, but it's consistent, it's respectful, it's honest, and most importantly, it doesn't require you to abandon yourself. Remember that. So if today's episode spoke to you, I want you to remember something. Confusion is often the first clue that manipulation is happening. Healthy relationships may have disagreements, they may have struggles, but they shouldn't leave you constantly questioning your reality. They shouldn't leave you feeling small. They shouldn't leave you afraid to speak your truth. If you've survived narcissistic abuse, be patient with yourself. Healing isn't about becoming who you were before. It's about becoming someone who now recognizes their own worth. Someone who trusts themselves again. Someone who knows that love should never require self-destruction. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, and keep reminding yourself that your voice matters. This is Sarah Angel, and you've just listened to Bless Your Little Narc Heart. Have a good one.